Hello everyone, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. But before we do, we have a sponsor this week. Who could this sponsor be? Well, it's the only sponsor that we care to have on this channel. It's Into the AM, my favorite clothing company ever. When anybody else tries to sponsor me, I push them. I push them over and I say, no, don't you dare. I already have a sponsor that I care about, and it's Into the AM. Into the AM is responsible for replacing my entire wardrobe. I've burnt the rest of it because it doesn't feel half as good as Into the AM stuff does. I love them so much. They were like, hey, can we cut one of your things and put it on Instagram? I said, absolutely. And they're like, we could pay you money for this. And I said, don't you dare. just do it. I'll do it for free. And then they said, you have to make a Facebook page. And so now there will be a Room and Board Facebook page as soon as I can figure out how to do it. And it'll just be so that they can use me to talk about how great their stuff is. I love this company. I think it's so great. And right now, they're having a Memorial Day sale. This is the Memorial Day sale. You can get up to 70% off site-wide up until June 1st. Look how happy he is flipping stuff on that grill. He wouldn't be nearly as happy if he wasn't wearing beautiful Into the AM shirts. Those are the button-ups that he's wearing. Well, that's not a button-up, but you saw it. That's the button-up. They're pretty comfy. They're kind of stretchy, which is nice. I have tried almost every single thing, every single article of clothing on their store, except for their shorts. So I'm going to try to get some of those, and then I'll talk about it to you. I imagine they're incredible. I imagine they'll be my favorite shorts that I've ever worn. So go check out Into the AM, and you can use the code SLIPPERYJIM to save yourself an additional 10% off your order. You can click the link down below. That's SLIPPERYJIM. Yes, I got to choose my own link, and it's just the funniest code. It still brings me so much joy that they let me put in a code, SLIPPERYJIM. Come on now. If that's not a company we're supporting, I don't know what is. So if you want to stay cool while looking cool, or stay hot while looking hot, well, you should get yourself some Into the AM stuff. If you have somebody in the States, shipping is best in the States, but you can still get it to Canada. Just might have to juggle things around in terms of our duties that are, imposed upon stuff. But yeah, I love their stuff. I love, what is in their sale? Let's look. Shop now. I want to shop. Just their basic tees are great. Their jeans are nice. Of course, I love their graphic tees. You get a free gift. Ooh, check that out. The all-day pants, if you work in an office, they give you kind of like stretchy. They're pretty fitted, which are nice. The daily shorts. Those are the ones that I want to try out. Oh, wow. And like, this is what I really love too, is that if you're cheap like me, you can get some great graphic tees for very cheap. Like the quality here of all of their stuff. I do love their Henleys. Their Henleys are the favorite. Oh, I did get a polo recently. Their polo was awesome. It makes me feel so good. I feel like so put together, which is a new feeling for me. Yeah. Oh, I haven't tried their performance joggers yet. I imagine they're joggers. Oh, a bomber jacket. That one does look good. Yeah, I love their stuff. It gets me so excited. It really genuinely gets me so excited. That's why I love whenever they're like, hey, we'll sponsor the channel for an episode. I said, please do. And I'll let you sponsor it every episode if you want to. I love them so much. Check them out. That's Into the AM. And now we're going to move along into this week. It seems like a big week. I've got a lot of tabs open, but I think a lot of these tabs are just awful. So we're going to see. We're going to see if there's anything good that's happening. Oh, and I'll talk about another cool thing that I did at the end of the episode, which I should add a tab in so that I don't forget. Talk about Crowdfunding Nerds podcast. All right, but we're going to start off over on GameFound with a nice full belly, a Cassus Belli. Set in a time of peace, 4 asymmetric factions face rising tensions while trying to accomplish their goals. 4X with a twist. Will you win in peacetime, or will you find a reason for war and bring victory to yourself and your allies? I'm interested in this one because I know that a few people in my Patreon have backed this, and I need to make sure that it's really bad, that I hate this. Oh, it's Martin Wallace. I won't be able to hate it. Dang it. In my opinion, I feel like Cassus Belli is the best thing I've designed in a long time, and I've created a lot of stuff. Oh, no. Anyway, I'm gonna be really harsh on this one, so that, you feel bad about your purchases. Let's check it out. Yeah, I didn't realize this was Martin Wallace. Now I'm excited. That's a horrible trailer. Hybrid deck building. That's interesting. Okay, let's check it out. Cassus Belli is an epic 4X space game of exploration, settlement, and warfare between asymmetric factions. You'll build decks to expand your faction's technology towards your unique goals, explore new worlds, meet new civilizations, and exploit their resources to build your faction's strength. Clashes with other factions are inevitable, and if tensions rise, war might break out. Each faction will explore and colonize the system in the region. In doing so, they will come across ancient alien technologies. However, some of these technologies will lead to corruption. Okay. The game starts in a period of peace. Some actions may lead to an increase in tension, which in turn may lead to war. While peace reigns, factions cannot fight each other unless they have Cassus Belli. Of course. What is Cassus Belli? It might be a person. It might be a star. It might be a ship. It might be an energy source. Let's find out, shall we? If war breaks out, the factions will divide into alliances, and major battles can occur. So there's sort of an alliance system? Uh-oh, I like this. The game plays over 7 to 9 rounds. My favorite rounds! And at the end of each game, the factions score differently for assets they have on the board. Okay, then there's the story. Who cares? Peaceful fighting, trading, and science, probably. Developing their culture. Oh, music to my ears. This complex game. We recommend you reading the rules linked below. However, to help get you started, we've created video demonstrations of some key game mechanics. Let's read the rules. Should we just read the reference? Now let's read the rules. Only 26 pages. It's a deck building game. Each player starts with a deck of 12 cards. This does tell you that your faction will have different ways to expand. Okay. You can be exploring systems, flipping up planets, then being able to get resources. Some will already be inhabited. You'll have to take them out. Once you put things on the board, you'll clear space to put additional counters on there. Multi-use cards, you either play it for the resources or you play it for its effect. I really like that. That's always fun. There's a picture of the map. That's a cool map. 6 resource types in the game. Population, matter, energy, science, politics, and culture. Different type of effects. Action, or a one-use action, so you trash it. Combat, you play during combat. You interrupt. Oh, play it during any combat. Instant, when you immediately acquire the card and remove from the game in case you just buy it one-time use thing. Benefit, play the card when appropriate. As described in the card, okay. Play the card into your ROM. What's your ROM? Probably just your permanent area. Wait, whenever you perform an action, you can play face-up cards from your RAM? Is it RAM or ROM? Neither, it's RUM. It's RANG. RAM. It's ROM. I assume trade counters are like permanent resources that you can spend on actions, right? Oh, if you use a trade counter or a tile, flip it face down, and then there's got to be a refresh system. Cool, 5 system types in the game. They will all do different stuff, so you kind of know what you're getting into when you're exploring a system. Ah, there's RAM, normally limited to 2 cards. Here we go. And then there's ROM, unlimited capacity. If unlimited capacity is ROM, I don't want to be RAM. I do like the look of this. I definitely like the look of this. I can see why people are excited about it. God, I keep doing that. There's going to be some random events, and then you're going to do your main actions, which will be standard 4X actions. Explore, movement, place outposts, make alliances, claim tech, expand, etc. I like that you can make alliances with like neutral colonies. So again, a lot of this feels fairly standard 4X fare, but I think the deck building aspect is going to be the draw, the differences of the resource economy, and faith in Martin Wallace makes me excited about it more than anything, really. Culture, merchant ship. I do like that aspect of the trading supply. Can't use trade counters in the same turn you gain them, but that's fine. It's all about building up. Merchant ships are just basically building up that economy. That economy feels fun as well, of using your 6 different resources effectively. Oh, cool. Politics just lets you trash cards. So that's like your trash card resource, and you can just do that as an action. So you can really wreck through your cards if you get a big boost in politics early on. That potential is fun. It's what you need in a deck building game. You cannot freely attack other players. It's very important you understand the rules defining when you may attack. Game starts in peace, meaning no faction can instate combat against another faction, unless they have an active Cassus Belli counter there. Cassus Belli counter going to be played using a Cassus Belli technology card. See the reference book, okay. If the game is in a state of war, then you can attack anybody, as long as you're not allied with them. And that's a track that's kind of going up throughout the game. That makes sense. I mean, like, mechanically, it's really just delaying the game, right? Making sure that you can't attack people until a certain moment. But I like that you can push the tempo of that, or lock down certain systems that are important to you so that people enter them. You can say, listen, anyone who comes in here, I'm attacking it. Oh, I love this. Seeing this in a game makes me actively excited, because that kind of reminds you that you can shape the game how you will. Table talk. During the game, players can openly talk with other players, conveying any information they see fit. Players do not have to be honest. Like, that, to me, that's the number one thing for me to be excited about a game and a rulebook is like, hey, lie. This combat resolution is confusing to me just in text document. It feels kind of tug of war-ish, which limits my enthusiasm. There's lots of D10 rolling. I don't know. I honestly can't quite envision it, which is, maybe there's okay, yeah, I was right. You know, you're pulling this combat tracker back and forth. Okay, I did. Yeah, that's kind of nice. No visuals, nothing, and I just kind of anticipated it. Right. But if you want to see a more visual example, there's combat around the 50-minute mark of John Gates games. Yeah. All right. How much are you? 98 Canadian. 69 US. One copy of the game. You can just get plastic bits for 4. That seems like an awful thing, but sure. Or you can get miniatures box added to your thing for a total of 154, 220 Canadian. Yuck. What do the minis even look like? Your ships are fine. You don't need friggin' minis. You don't need these as merchant ships. They're literally just counters. Yeah, I absolutely wouldn't go for the minis if you're doing it. I mean, I understand that I often don't recommend blinging up your copy, but that just looks like a big barrel of who cares. If you want to truly immerse yourself, nah, who cares? This is like, I feel like the equivalent is if you needed 3D printed canals or railroad tracks for brass, right? Or 3D printed chits for brass that you then would flip over in this weird way that just makes it big. No, or you have to swap out the thing if it's been sold. I think that just sounds awful to have the minis. I think the game does look good, but I think the minis are completely awful. So $16 shipping to the US, 17 to 20 for Canada. So for me, it'd be $120 for this game. I guess that's kind of a running amount for a 4X game. It's a bit expensive. I would rather wait to see it go to retail rather than worry about the shipping. Especially because there's not much additional Kickstarter extra stuff happening here. But again, looks good. Looks better than I expected it to. That finishes on the 21st at 2 a.m. All right. Now we got a bunch of dumb stuff that I clicked on, and I'm probably just going to skip through because I don't have as much time today, and I'm recording this later and later, so other things keep taking my attention and time. This is Fight Me, the hilarious game of verbal combat. Step 1, choose your opponent. Step 2, draw your card and state your stance. Read a card and then have to argue it. It's arguing the game. It's what I do every day of my life. Why would I pay money to do it? You should pay money to me for me to do it. You're right. I am this game. I love this game. Everybody back this game. It's pick for me. Pick for you. It's a pick for you. Oh, they've got a Die of Fate too? Oh, they're just spitting in the face of my deathmatch now. Yuck. There are already games like this. Like, I think Super Fight is basically this game, and I guess they never played it. You know? Basically what it is. If you're interested in a game of Super Fight that's not Super Fight, well, it's $20. Well, I guess check it out and pay for the shipping. We're moving on. We're going to check this one out. This is Goat Simulator, the card game. A chaotic 2 to 6 player card game almost exclusively about goats. Almost exclusively, but not quite. We're going to see what this is all about. It's raised a bunch of money, which seems absurd to me. Maybe just based around the theme? Oh, it's because they have a big old goat plushie. That's why. Everyone's like, I want a goat plushie. Sold. Doesn't matter about the game. There's nothing else going on here. Oh, you have secret mission cards. You want to dress your goat in a bunch of different cards. It's another game where you just draw cards, play random effects on each other, and then throw this plushie goat into the air. How many people are going for the plushie goat? Exclusive box edition, yeah. Okay, exclusive box and add-ons, 865 people. Just overwhelmingly, the people who are going for it are spending $80 Canadian on this goat plushie that they can throw for this one-time gimmick. Hey, I'm happy for you if you get it and you like it. First to get 10 chaos points wins. And this is the size of the plushie. To be clear, everybody needs to look at this. That's the size of the plushie. I did not think that's what the size of the plushie was going to be, but it's going to be very small. Steal a card, steal equip gear, draw 2 cards, reverse turn direction. That's the kid-friendly one, so you don't have to worry about the wild and zany actions on the cards, but yeah. Oh no, the retail edition comes with a throwable Pilgor plushie, so they all come with the... Oh, then there's the large Pilgor plushie. It comes with the big one. Got it. All right. Well, at least you get a little mini one in it. So honestly, not the worst value take that card game that I've ever seen, but it's still a take that card game, which is not something that I would ever want to take or put upon my worst enemies. But if you're interested, that finishes Wednesday, May 21st at 8:59 a.m. We're going to keep on moving to this one, Dungeon Poker. Your GM's face just got a deck to match. Okay, your GM's poker face just got a deck to match. Bluffing you? Forget ordinary dungeon. Dungeon Poker transforms playing cards into unique dungeon rooms. Each card features an intricate mosaic on the floor, depicted by a playing card. Perfect for building a gambling mage's labyrinth. It's also a fully functional poker deck. Well, it's a deck of cards. It's a deck of cards that are in the form of rooms. So if you wanted to have different room shapes, which don't really look like they're different room shapes, but they kind of are. you can get it. You can get it €5 for the print in place. Print on demand? Oh yeah, so for €7? That's actually pretty decent. You know, it's not something that I think is really interesting. Chamber of the Statue, the Tomb, the Room of the Fountain, the Library, the Chamber of the Stairs. So if you just wanted to randomize your dungeon deck, then you can. Oh, and a link to order a printed 54 card deck at cost. I'm sorry. Sorry, wait. So for €5, you can get a print on a PDF version that you could go to a printer, send to a printer and say like, hey, print this. For €7, you get a digital download and you get a link to a place where you could order it anyways. They're just charging you $2 extra, €2, to create a link when they should have just done that for their backers. And it's not, you still have to purchase it. You're still purchasing it at a cost. What the heck is going on here? That's like, that just took away all goodwill. Just like say, hey, we know that printing is hard. So get the print and play, and we will send you a link where we're using it, but feel free to use that in another spot. Like, how do you know it's at cost? How do you know it's a better version than printing it down the street? That's just so absurd. That's so absurd. A link to order, printed 54 and a tuck box at cost. That should come with the €5 print and play. Oh, Dungeon Poker, you suck. You just eroded any goodwill I was interested in giving you, but if somebody else wants to give you some goodwill, check it out. That's Wednesday 21st at 10 a.m. We're going to keep on moving to this one, Trash Rush. Are you skilled enough to join these terrific raccoon street cleaning crews in this Family Plus game for 1 to 4 players? Finally, we're having a Family Plus game. You know, I want to get my dad's mistresses involved. They're never welcome at Family Game Night, and finally we are getting the whole Family Plus aspect. I just think that's great. I want my dentist to come because my dentist is like a member of the family and pushed away for too long. All right, let's see what this one's like. Clean up your act. Oh, so it's programming? Family friendly. All right, I have to remember it's family friendly when I look at this because Family Plus friendly for my dentist and my dad's mistresses. Rado says it's a good alternative to Ticket to Ride. All right, you got to clean up the streets. It's a very unfocused campaign page. They're like, we're gonna make it just easy. It's got raccoons, buy it. Box as well. All right, I don't care why you love it. How to play. Here's the first one. Give directions to your team. Your squad can perform various actions, but choose their sequence wisely. Once set, you will repeat these actions in the same order throughout the entire round. Oh, okay, so it builds on each other. So it's not like programming, but it's like the Eerie style of programming, right? During the game, you can also recruit elite units. These special raccoons perform actions that can be inserted into the middle of your action chain. Right, so you can drop them in there. Okay, that does actually seem fun, because the Eerie is fun. Collect trash and use it wisely. Steer your garbage trucks around the city, gathering as much rubbish as possible over 4 rounds. The game board will evolve through the rounds, so plan your moves carefully. Make the most of your rubbish. Use it to repair the city to gain bonuses and victory points. It's nice that you can go down a one-way street here. Winner, winner, trash for dinner. Okay, we definitely need a rule book to look at to see just how any part of the game works. Probably a good idea.
Winner, winner, trash for dinner.
Game flow. 4 rounds, 3 turns. Play a card. Perform its actions. Pass to the next player. Once you've played all 3 cards, you're fine. Players must decide where to place the card they've chosen to play, either the left or the right of the card played. Oh, okay, so you really have a lot of flexibility. So the VIP trash panda allows you to have one more option. Move and collect a trash bag. Then you're going to move and collect a trash bag, and then collect another trash bag, and then move. Yeah, honestly, that does seem fun. Like, again, you're just taking what was a great concept, what I've enjoyed in Root, and that's makes for some forward thinking. It makes for some disruption of plans. If I see you need to pick up trash first, I can go over and pick up trash and kind of like screw you over. It gives that sort of lighthearted screwage happening. And then you can repair objects as well. There's just additional things to do. But that's the flow, right? That is the main draw. That is the flow that's where the fun will be. And it's €30. Yeah, 47 Canadian. I really like that for the retail version. That's great. No stretch goals. Yep, it's already stretched out, ready for you. Ready and waiting. Hong Kong and China, €9 to €16. USA, €20 to €26. Oof. Canada, €24 to €31. Oof. That's tough, right? Shipping's always very tough. This changed it from an interesting prospect at 30 for a not interesting at all prospect for almost $100 Canadian. You know, on the upper end, that's how much it would cost me to get this. Absolutely not interested in that whatsoever. But I think the concept does seem family friendly and fun, and hopefully this gets some retail distribution because I think it's got potential there. Definitely think it's got potential. If you're interested, that finishes Wednesday, May 21st at 10:45 a.m. That was nice. This is again why I look at these things, because I don't know, I like sort of new stuff. I like being surprised. I like looking at that and thinking, okay, there's no chance that I could find anything interesting in there, and then it actually being delightful. And that's why reading through the rules is so important. Next up, we have Flamecraft Duals, not duels like you're battling, but duel like you're doing it together. A two-player competitive pattern matching game and the ultimate Flamecraft expansion, Dragons and Dragons. Well, good. I didn't reach over 1 million, so I didn't have to do 5 reasons. I didn't get a lot of you giving me feedback on that, if you think I should do the 5 reasons if other things cross 1 million or not. I was just taking a break because of all the tariff stuff, really. But yeah, let's check this one out. Let's see what this has got in store. You're on your lunch break as a dragon. Dragon tile placement. Sure. Are you going to be like Harmonies? It's trying to be Harmonies Cascadia-esque. All right, stop that. Stop that right now. I need to see that again. The box is the board for the deluxe box. That's pretty fun. Yeah, that's fun. I mean, it's kind of just a gimmick, but I was really excited about that for the beginning, and then I was like, I don't care. What joyous names they have. What's your name? Potion. My name's Potion Plant. My name's Crystal Bread. Actually, Crystal Bread. Crystal Bread's a pretty good name. Just keep making patterns that are available. All right, I'm not blown away by the video or by the potential of it, but I could be convinced. I could be convinced for a good price. Flamecraft Duals Deluxe is $30, 42 Canadian. Sure. Magnetic storage, lockable box becomes the board. There'll probably be a cheaper version coming out with these tiles. I just want to know how you pick up these job cards and how you can fight for them. It reminds me a little bit of Neotopia, which is a good thing. Neotopia is a great game where you are creating patterns and you're scoring points for those patterns. Then you have a choice of like drawing a card and placing a thing for a pattern. But I just wonder how easy the pattern creation is going to be, how much you can stack upon each other. So I'm quite interested to see. Oh, at least they have names now, not just Potion. Thank goodness. Yeah, I was wondering why they're calling them such bad names. Fancy dragons include Steven, Todd, Flare, Starburst, Rainbow, Taylor, Gold Rush, and Buddy. Yeah, some of those are not like the others. Fountain card, how to play. You pull a dragon token, you place your dragon, you use the dragon's ability, and then you score your cards. But how do you get your cards? That's the question. Read the rulebook. Yes, please. Each player draws 2 cards from the deck to form their hands. Okay. Stack can never contain more than 3 tokens. That's important. See which dragon wants to come out to play. Then you can fire up the token so you activate its ability. Sure, the fire up chart shows you what to do. Play another dragon, so you can pull another dragon. Pull 3 dragons, place 1. Just objectively better than bread. Oh, but you can fire up the special ability of the token you just pull out, and then crystal you can't. So, okay, all right, I like that. Meat. Move somebody somewhere. Iron, move 2. Yeah, it's all just about swapping stuff, right? Yeah, okay, so it's just a refresh phase at the end. You have 2 cards in your hand, you have to complete those, and then you always draw 2 more cards, which I like. I think I like that as a flow. You have to be focused on what happens. You're really at the mercy of what's going to be coming out. Oh, I didn't draw any crystal dragons. I can never pull this card from my hand. Sometimes luck isn't on your side. At any time before you refresh, you can discard the coin and draw 2 shop cards, then choose any 2 shop cards from your hand to keep, put them on the bottom. So there is some flexibility there for it's just like, I'm just not drawing stuff. I'm going to use my coins. But unspent coins are worth a point at the end, so you don't really want to use a coin. Sure, I think this looks fine. I think Neotopia looks better. I think Cascadia looks better. I think normal Flamecraft looks better. I mean, you can't really compare those two, though. Acropolis looks better. I think Azul looks better. No offense. I think this looks just fine. In terms of a pattern laying and pattern matching, I think Harmonies is better. That's what I was searching for, but I just said other things. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it is okay. You can get a bunch of Flamecraft expansions, though, if you're just a big Flamecraft fan, and I do like that they are offering that as their own standalone. $20. Feels very reasonable. $30 feels okay, reasonable for what it is, but then you still have to factor in shipping, so $12 to the US. That's like $60 for this game, which I understand is the deluxe edition, but I imagine it'll be, 30 to 40 Canadian for me once it hits retail. They always have these puzzles and stuff, which is cool on this. And where is their... Oh, it's probably in the add-on. Plant Dragon. My neighbor and not friend, Yuval, whose game is arriving. My group buy hasn't arrived yet, but I got a copy that I didn't think I was going to get. Anyway, he was asking me if I had a promo code for Spot Hero, which is pretty good parking app, just scans for cheaper deals for parking places. Well, he said, "You have a Spot Here promo code?" And I said, "Spot Hero? No." And he said, "Yes." I said, "No," I said, "not yes." And he said, "Okay." I said, "Not okay. The answer's no." He said, "Right." I said, "Wrong. I don't have a code." He said, "I see." I said, "No, you can't see the code because I don't have one." He said, "Got it. Thanks." And I said, "No, you couldn't get it because I don't have a code to give you." I wish I did, but I don't. And then he said, "Explain how I got it then." I went, "Dang it." Anyway, that's what I'm been giggling to myself over here. Here we go. It's in the add-ons. It's after the actual add-ons. We're like, get the plushies. But also, Cardboard Alchemy is partnering with the Spiel Foundation. So for $10, you can share Flamecraft Duals with someone in need of fun at a hospital, club, school, shelter. Dragons will do the rest. So essentially, you're spending $10. You are buying this game at cost, likely, or close to it, and then they will donate that game to a place that wouldn't otherwise have them. I think that's nice. I mean, I think that's nice of you. It's nice of you for doing that because you are just covering the cost. And then they are giving it and dealing with the shipping and the distribution. And so I think that's really nice. My patrons were excited about that. I've seen a couple campaigns do this before. I don't think this is inherently unique to Cardboard Alchemy, but I think it is great that they are doing it. And why not? And this game also feels like it would be a perfect fit for that, right? To put into schools or hospitals or whatever, for kids to play, to have an actually decent tile laying game. I don't think it's going to overwhelm the modern gamer's sensibilities, but I think the flow is going to be fun, and I think kids will absolutely enjoy it. The art is gorgeous, obviously, that'll attract people in, and it's not too hard. I think this would actually be a really nice pick for kids, especially because you can get the friggin' plant plushies to go along with it, right? Like the dragon plushies, which are an absolute highlight for sure. So cute, really cute campaign. It doesn't really turn my crank as I was hoping it to. I would rather play regular Flamecraft. I think regular Flamecraft seems a lot more interesting, or I think I would rather play something like Harmonies, but still looks nice, potentially decent price point. If you're interested, that finishes Wednesday, May 21st at 11 a.m. Okay, moving along, we're going to just touch on this quickly. This Zeo Genesis Scalable Skirmish game. I first read it as Scalable. It's a scalable skirmish game. Miniatures game featuring big armor suits, locked in kinetic action, designed by Andrew Chambers, with narrative by Gav Thorpe. And if you're interested in looking into another skirmish game, you can check this one out. It's over on GameFound right now. I'm not a huge skirmish game person. I still have yet to play Warhammer. I do need to play that at one point. But Zach's like, yeah, we can play it. I don't think you're going to like it. I was like, that's fair. He's like, I know your preferences pretty well. I think you'll think it's just okay. And you won't like it as much as maybe you'd want. And so I'm like, well, if you're not going to convince me, I don't know who's going to. I think the more interesting skirmish game was that dexterity one that we covered last week. And more interesting just because it has a different hook, you know, rather than just another generic skirmish game. But if you want the core rulebook, the standalone rulebook, that's $40, a physical copy of the rulebook, you can get it. You can get the physical copy for $150 for a two-player starter set. This is why I'm never going to be interested in diving into a skirmish game, because I don't paint. Well, I do. I'm an exceptional painter, but I like to give the persona that I don't paint. There's so many other great two-player games. In fact, there's a list of 200 of them. When Dr. Bude put together that awesome list of best two-player games. There's so many of those that you could play and have a smaller cost investment than $150, really. But maybe there's a PDF, physical rulebook. Where's the digital? Oh no, they're only selling physical rulebooks. They're not giving you a digital rulebook, probably because they're worried about it just being sent out everywhere. I don't know. I think if people like your game, then they'll come back and end up buying your product. But players alternate activating their models to keep play moving quickly. Each activated model gets multiple actions such as move, move, shoot, in any order, rewarding decisive play. The ability to react during the opposing activations means that players are constantly engaged with the action. Big armor suits. Oh, the current version of our playtest rules are available for download here. They represent an 80% text, 80% art book. Okay, great. So you can download the rules. That's great. So you can download them for free. They should put that as a thing that you can get on their pledge banner. Say, hey, free. So yeah, another skirmish game. If you like skirmish games, you can go look at it. I figured I'd highlight it in case you missed it. And that's all I can really say about it, because I'm not really the expert in skirmish games, so why would I bullshit you? That finishes on the 21st as well at 11 a.m. Now here's on next to potentially the best one of the episode. It is what everyone's been waiting for. Banana Boy versus UniCone, the ultimate matching game, $9. Have you heard of Banana Boy versus UniCone? No? Well, you're gonna. All right. Well, actually, there's some potential here. I thought this was going to be a completely waste. It's reminiscent of That's Not a Hat. That's Not a Hat, I think, would be a better version of this style of game, but it's a party game where you throw a bunch of cards in the middle, and then you pick up the two things, and you'd say Unicorn Cycle, and then you flip them over, and if they were the same picture on the other side, you keep them. You get a point. They're the same color, you get one of them, and if they're not the same anything, then you just leave them flipped over and people can use them again. And so you're trying to remember what people have already flipped over to match with other things that were flipped over in this weird sort of memory style game. Not bad. $1 for print and play, $9 for box copy. That also feels like very reasonable compared to normal Kickstarter prices. $13 Canadian if that interests you. I think That's Not a Hat would be my preferred again. But this is significantly better. I only clicked on it just for the name, and I think that there's actually some people who might enjoy this. And I wasn't convinced when there were reviewers talking about it in their up top video, but now I can see some merit to it, which I really did not expect to ever happen. Ever. Maybe in their life. So if you're interested in that, well, you can check it out. That finishes Thursday, May 22nd at 1:48 a.m. His hair should twirl, and his face should scowl, his eyes should flash, and his breast protrude, and this should be his customary attitude. Lifeboat, the classic game of survival at sea. Adrift in a cramped lifeboat, along with your secret love, oh, your secret enemy, oh, and a bunch of treacherous. Who can you trutch? I love First Mate. I hate Madame Wong. That was the example. That's the example. All right, it's a deluxe edition, 25th anniversary edition of Lifeboat. I haven't heard of this game before, but it's a sort of a social deduction style game. If you're looking for a backstabbing negotiation game that only takes an hour and a deck of cards, Lifeboat is a good choice. That's what Tom Vassell says. Do we trust him? No. Shipping prices are based on our best estimates since April 2025. We'll eat the cost if shipping goes up. Bad idea. Tariffs are based on shipping a game from the USA. Those in the USA will have to pay no tariff. Those in other countries will be responsible for any tariff, duties, or VAT imposed by their governments. So it's being made in the US, I suppose. It's $39, 55 Canadian. Take on the role of one of 9 survivors. You're dealt a love card and a hate card, so you want one player to survive, one player to die. You'll be getting provisions cards, trying to get the most points, because you're just stuffing all the jewels you can in your pants in front of everybody in this lifeboat that nobody can see. What are you doing up there? Nothing. I'm just getting some cash. I'm just getting some water. Will you jockey for a better position in the boat? Because better position means you get to draft provision cards first, or will you not? Will you just do nothing? I guess that's the question. Will you not? Or will you jockey? I mean, the question is yes, you will jockey. Everybody wants to jockey. And then you'll attack each other and kill each other. And then everybody... I like that in a fight, you can just be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to fight you, but so is everybody on this boat. You can just murder somebody who is being a dink. And then you also have to choose if you're going to row or not. So extend the game or not. Sure, that seems fine. I mean, I don't know if I'm interested in paying $39 for it, 55 Canadian, and then plus shipping. There's no rulebook, eh? We haven't gotten to that one yet. I kind of get it, though. I think there's not too much that I would have to look into. There's an old maid aspect to it. People can steal things from your hand. It seems just fine. Perhaps that's the most cutting thing we could say. Where's the shipping? Shipping and tariffs. Shipping, I guess shipping is in here? Select country, okay. So shipping to Canada would be 15. It seems like it's $15 to pretty much everywhere. Is it cheaper in the States? Yeah, $8 to the States, $15 to everywhere else. Am I going to get $70 worth of value out of this game? I don't think so. Are you going to get 47 US? I don't think so. It seems okay. I think if I played it, it would be fine, but it doesn't jump out at me as something that would have a lot of staying power. But if you're interested, check it out. The finish is Thursday, May 22nd at 12 p.m. Moving along to, would you ever believe I was excited for it? But I am. Ronin from Queen Games. The last Queen Games, I thought was a really good campaign. And I'm like, this is the make or break point. Is Queen Games going to slide into a backslide? Or is Queen Games going to move forward beautifully in a way that's going to shock us all? I don't know, but we're going to find out together right now. This is it, Queen Games. Everything rides on this game right here. Discover the fantastic world of Ronin and their journey to get their honor back. It's a very similar to Austin Powers 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me in theme. The Ronins have lost their mojo. and they gotta get their honor back. Also similar to how Stella got her groove back. It's kind of a mashup between the two if we're talking about theme. $49 US, 69 Canadian, plus shipping, you know, be like 90. It's a game of resilience, growth, and the pursuit of purpose. The Queen Game story. Every choice shapes your destiny. Will you regain your name and find your place in the world again? However that changes, backers will not have to pay them. We will pay any extra costs for tariffs. Ugh, don't do it. Don't. Put it on the backers. Are you paying extra costs for VAT? No? Okay, rules and artwork for Ronin are in the final stages and will be completed in the next 2 months. Wooden components and cards are already ordered, and therefore won't delay the production schedule. Okay, but how do you play? What is the game? Download the rules. Oh, yes, thanks, Queen Games. Give me those work in progress. All of this will earn you honor, so you will once again be an honorable samurai by the end of the game. Okay, Ronin is played in 4 rounds. There are 4 phases in each round. Each phase is played in succession. Place Ronin figures in the cities, collect your resources, fulfill your missions, actions at the end of the round. So kind of a worker placement comboed with area control, probably. You're going to place your worker in the city, and you're going to take the action in the city. Here you get 2 points and advance 2 spaces on the victory point. Ronin can also have character abilities, but then you can't do the city action. Okay, doesn't seem that exciting, but sure. Gives you permanent actions that you can rely on instead of relying on open spaces. Then you collect resources. There are 2 or 3 resources in each region. If you have a Ronin figure in a city that's adjacent to a region, you can take 1. So you're pre-planning. You want to spread yourself out because it doesn't make sense to double up close because you get less resources. So there's an interesting potential balance there. Whoever has the greatest influence over a region collects first and therefore has more choice. Or in a tie, whoever's further ahead on the tea ceremony track. All right, so there is a little bit of area control. But it's 2-2, right? Because there's a castle and a Ronin, and then there's 2 Ronin, and then so yellow's ahead on the tea ceremony track. So that's how they won that. Then you can fulfill missions, pay resources, do a thing. It just seems fine. It just seems fine. It just seems really mid-interesting to me. Shipping for Ronin to Deutschland is $8. US is $20. Canada is $26. Certainly not a $100 game. It's barely a $50 game for me. It just doesn't seem that interesting. However, it seems fine. It seems inoffensive. I was unoffended by this Queen Games campaign. They didn't overtly treat their backers with disdain. So, you know, they're moving up. They're moving up in the world. That finishes on Thursday, May 22nd at 5:30 p.m. Moving along. Surprise! We have 9 secret-ish games from Boardgametables.com. Sorry. All play. There's wave 1, there's wave 2, there's wave 3, there's still some secrets happening. You can get a year of all play for $199. A city building with a bit of corruption, a whodunit, a race to play the biggest words, piñatas, become a master of tubes, a master of the internet, with a robust expansion, a sequel that doesn't go by the book, a new party game from the designer of Things and Rings, contractually prohibited from saying more, splitting treasure is no fun, bring a torch. Wave 3, shipping January 2026. Wave 2, shipping October 2025. Welcome to the Secret-ish Games Kickstarter. We love Kickstarter backers. You make it possible for us to publish a lot of board games. But over the years, we published more and more games that skip Kickstarter. Why? Honestly, we get to publish so many cool games, it feels like too much for Kickstarter. At the same time, many gamers have told us they miss it when one of our new games doesn't go to Kickstarter. This year alone, beyond our planned crowdfunding titles, we've got 9 great games slated for straight-to-retail release this year. Well, they were straight-to-retail release. Instead, we've brought them together for you Kickstarter backers in one big bundle, a $265 value for $199. This is a campaign with all the fluff removed. Simply, it's the very best offer we can make. Bundle them all together, get a big sale, shipping in June, October, and January, and get yourself a 25% discount on a bunch of games that you may not like. A lot of these games aren't even announced yet. The last 5 are a bit of a surprise, with one game we couldn't legally show if we wanted to. So it's just, you know, it's like, hey, if you're a fan of BoardGameTables.com, sorry, all play, which... how could we not be a fan? Then you can buy these games sight unseen. This is the most insane Kickstarter, and it is absolutely insane to me that it's raised $78,000. This is nuts. They're like, listen, you're going to buy them anyway. You love our games. We make good games. They're pretty decent prices. They have good components. You like them. You think you like them, and they're just going to sit on your shelf anyway, whether or not you learn about them or you don't learn about them. You're not going to play them. You just like buying them. And we appreciate you buying them. So why don't you just buy them now? What are they? We're not going to tell you. Please? No, not going to tell you. They're good. They're good games. We're publishing them. They're going to retail. And you're going to miss out. I mean, you could get them at retail. But you're going to miss out. You wanted this. You wanted us to come to Kickstarter. You asked for this. Now put your money up. And raise $100,000. I think that's pretty impressive. Very, very impressive. You're potentially locking in. I can see why people are like, hey, I got to lock in a price so I can get a $2 discount on this filler game that I'm going to play once and not enjoy. I think Allplay's games are generally pretty good, you know? But I wouldn't want all of them, and I certainly wouldn't want them sight unseen. What are the ones that they do have? Alibis. Cooperative game Alibis. A suspicious lineup of supervillains lies before you and your team. I don't even know why I'm looking at these. Well, because I like to look at everything. But you shouldn't get this. Like, you absolutely shouldn't back this whatsoever. Anyone in their right mind shouldn't get this. Unless you have every single game that Allplay has ever produced, and you love every single game that Allplay has ever produced, and you actively play all the games that they've ever produced. Why would you ever contemplate getting this? This is insane. The surprise of it all? It's going to be a retail. They've told you. I get like getting a surprise shirt. It's a one-time purchase. You'll be like, that's a cool shirt. I got it as a surprise. A game is different because you actually have to enjoy the mechanics of it in order to get any value out of it. Each suspect in the lineup is holding a word. At the start of the game, you're dealt 2 suspects secretly. These 2 suspects are innocent. 1 card will not be dealt to anyone. That's the true criminal. Okay, write down a 1-word clue, an alibi to associate your 2 cards. Yeah, nice thematic tie-in there. Good job. Be careful not to absolve any of the other villains. Everyone at the table is doing this at the same time. Then you reveal your clues. Using the included suspect boards, make deductions based on everyone's clues until only 1 villain is left. If everyone does that correctly, you found the culprit. But so it's cooperative, and you know who the 2 suspects are that are innocent, and then you write down a word to be like, hey, these are 2 people who are innocent, and then you all discuss. You can't all discuss, right? That must be it. There we go. If you can all discuss, I'd be like, well, I have a feeling that this crocodile and this alligator are pretty innocent. That's why I wrote 230. That's a crocodile dentist joke. So it's like boring code names where you only have to link 2 things, and you're like, who cares about the rest of them? That sounds not fun. All right, let's see what High Rise is. A city building about construction and corruption. Well, at least they rhyme. In this new edition of High Rise, you and your opponents build skyscrapers in a somewhat unreputable city. You'll move around the board on a one-way track, choosing any unoccupied space ahead of you and doing its action. Sometimes you'll dabble in a bit of corruption to push through all that red tape. Construct skyscrapers in neighborhoods across the city. Players can move as far as they want. That's why it's fun. Okay. No rulebook, so don't really give us anything there. It's fun. Trust us. Great. All right, I'm convinced. Wordsy, a game that makes you feel smart. Use as many of the letters in the middle of the table and use any number of other letters. So just use the alphabet. All right. You'll just score for the letters showing. When you've played word games in the past, you've ever been annoyed that you didn't know a weird, obscure 2-letter combination that's technically in the dictionary? Never. That's why I've memorized all of them. And if you don't know all 2-letter words and you're playing a word game, what are you even doing? You don't deserve to be playing a word game, okay? Give me chi. Give me za. Yeah, give me that slice of za, even though Scrabble says you can't do any abbreviations, but they're like, we need a 2-letter Z word, or else everybody will go bananas. Let's make it za. Or have you ever been giving some obscure letters and there's nothing possible to play? Never. Word games are designed so that even when you get the obscure letters, you can have something to play. Get out of here, Wordsy. This is going to make you feel smart with all these baby handicaps on you? Nah. Previously a formal ferret title. This gets you Allplay Coat of Paint. Because the open-ended word-making rules, the game scales great with players of all ages. Instead of saying you can only use these letters, Wordsy lets you use any letters. Why would that be interesting? How I can see why they didn't do these in Kickstarter. These are awful. These have got to be the worst Allplay games I think I've ever seen. And we haven't even seen the mystery ones. You think the mystery ones are going to be better? No. Oh, pinata. You want to take tricks as late as you can. There we go. Bide your time, but don't wait too long or you won't get any candy. Once you take 3 tricks, you're out of the round, but you get points for how many tricks won by other players before you went out. If you wait too long and go out last, you'll only score your own 1 trick. See, that sounds great. Reiner Knizia, obviously. Thank you for bringing something interesting back. Yeah, I mean, but why do you need... What is special about the deck? There's 80 cards. That's what's special. There's 5 pinatas, so there's 5 suits. 80 divided by 5 is 14. So there's 14 cards in a suit. After a game is released, you really get to see how people play it and what they think. A sequel lets us incorporate the feedback into the game we're making. Okay, cool. Oh, this is horrible. This is just absolutely horrible. And they're also just going to eat the tariffs, which, like, why? I don't understand why people are eating the tariffs. They're just like, hey, we've decided to just lose money. Maybe because I think the tariffs will be gone by then. Who knows? That, if you want to back this barrel of trash, that finishes Thursday, May 22nd at 11 p.m. the things that you're getting seem like the most unfun titles that Allplay's ever produced, and there's no rule books. They're just like, do it. Give us money. Just give us money. Reminds me of somebody else I know. Let's move on to this one. God, I really expected good things out of that. I generally like the games from Allplay, but not today. Next up, we have Song for War, a unique World War II tabletop gaming experience. Axis and allied nations face off in a strategic sandbox of teamwork, trade-offs, and historical possibilities. This might be very wargamey, and so I might bounce off of it pretty hard, but we're going to check it out anyway and see what's going on. Yeah, this isn't a game for me. I can already tell you that. Turn your game table into a war room. I don't know. I can't do it. Maybe it's just because the how to plays aren't very interesting, or maybe it's because like my brain just slides right off of this theme. How to win. You vie for control of objectives and airfields to capture victory points for their respective side. Each side can win an automatic victory by capturing a target number of victory points, or win a standard victory based upon the specified victory conditions in the final stage of the game. You'll have a bunch of different units. They'll have a bunch of different firepower, movement points, armor type, how much they cost. You'll move them around on the board. I can't do it. War games just don't gel with me. They're not something that I really get excited about or am able to absorb very quickly. Nothing is really jumping off the page, and that rulebook feels inscrutable, so I'm skipping it. Sorry. I reserve the right. I'm using my veto to skip. Every 1,000 campaigns, I get to skip one. So I'm doing this now. Start the clock again. If you were excited about it, if you like war games, you can check this one out. You can let me know what you think of it in the comments, but I don't think I care. So I'm moving on. That finishes Friday, May 23rd at 10:56 a.m. Moving along to this one. This is raised probably the most. Oh yeah, it's Crowd Games. Nippon Zaibatsu. Rediscover the legend, new edition of the classic board game. Sure. I don't know if I've ever played Nippon, but let's see what Japan has in store for us. See, like, this is a theme where I'm like, yeah, I'm interested. I just love all of it. It's weird how those things kind of gel. And that makes us different, exciting people. Well, makes you exciting and me different. 10th anniversary. Yeah, that's this. Again, I mean, I really like Crowdy games or crowd games. And you'd think the amount that I like them, I would learn how to pronounce their name. I don't know if I will. Somebody could please tell me so I could do it moving forward. Love City of the Great Machine. They did City of the Great Machine. En route is a roll and write that there will be a review for that coming up pretty soon and a giveaway associated with it. Also really good. They do really good stuff. Evolution, didn't really care about, but their other stuff. In Nippon Zaibatsu, players manage conglomerates of companies called Zaibatsu. They build and modernize factories, set up productions, and supply goods to local markets, fulfill contracts, develop mining and technology, build railroads, and recruit foreign experts, all to catch up with Western countries and prove the emperor that their Zaibatsu is the most worthy. It's more than just a reprint, because this one has a solo mode. Streamlines gameplay, introduces many new concepts. Top 550 overall on BGG. Sweet. So they just figured it out. US backers, we originally estimated the MSRP for $75 at the standard edition, $95 for Emperor's edition. With the current tariff situation, retail sales in the US just aren't feasible. Those prices would have to be much higher, and that's why at the moment, Kickstarter is the only way to get the game into the US at a fair price. Yeah, legit. For now, they're making the best of what they got. Backers in other countries, don't worry, it'll be better. Free metal coins to everybody who backs the Emperor's edition. You get a metal coin set for free. That's an additional 15. Oh, and so the standard edition is going to be $60 US, 84 Canadian. And then the Emperor edition is $80 US, 112 Canadian. Fast-paced, highly competitive area majority and worker placement game where actions can't be blocked. On your turn, you take a worker from the hiring area and perform the corresponding action. If you can't or don't want to do this, you consolidate, gaining income and bonuses, and determining which tracks will score victory points at the end of the game. Hire workers to perform 9 different actions. Colors of the workers correspond to different departments. I'm interested to see, yeah, you have to hire a worker. The colors will be seeded randomly, I feel, and then wherever they drop will also give you an additional part. That seems... That right there is my hook, right? I really like games where the workers have those different colors. I think it's a really neat way to use like workers as a resource. And, you know, what else is capitalism for other than using workers as resources? Factories produce various goods and provide you with immediate bonuses or permanent effects and modifiers. You're going to be developing your own little engine down here, which is cool. Supply local markets with goods your factories produce to gain influence in the region. So there is this area control aspect. But if somebody provides more goods, then they can take it from you, supply local markets with the goods your factories produce to gain influence in the regions and receive bonuses. So moving up on tracks, developing and modernizing, investing in R&D. Oh, that's what we were talking about, supplying local market. Construct more advanced factories, modernize them, develop mining to increase production. Construct ships to get diplomatic people to come work and help out in your factories. And then consolidating is just depending upon the people who you've collected. Yeah, I mean, the flow feels really good from what those descriptors said. I kind of want to know how the workers are set out. I want to know the trains that are going in. Oh, the worker queue. So you can see the queue of what's coming up. That's even better. Oh, that's even better, because then when something is emptied, then the queue moves up. And so you have the control of adding in the meeples. And this is what you're going to get when you consolidate. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe, or it's what you get when you place them. That's what I want to find. It feels like an odd starting situation, but I guess the action that you get to take and the points that you get won't be completely unbalanced depending upon the resources that you have. There's only some slight variance in the resources. When you shuffle them up, there's going to definitely be one optimal one by doing it this way and not having them all tied together. I don't know, that would just be my guess. Game lasts 3 periods. Okay, so generally colors of workers do not matter for performing the actions. They are important only during consolidation. So a little less exciting, but in consolidation, you're going to be getting the resources and essentially building up your resource engine that you can use to spend on other things. So again, I like that balance. I do like that balance. It doesn't have like action implications, but I don't think it needs to, now that I'm considering it. Cool, you can't spend any money that you get in the action to pay for the action. Cool. Interesting. If you can't move all the workers, all rounds of the worker queue are empty, then the round ends. Neat. R&D, there's some bonuses you can get. Here are the actions. You spend money to move up on the track. Okay, mining action. Oh, it's specific to this one track. Got it. So R&D, mining action. I assume factory action is the same. No, it's not. They're throwing me for a loop. Each factory that you build will have an immediate effect as you're building up your engine, and it will show you what it produces. Machines action, which is activate your factories. That makes sense. Cool. So you're upgrading your machines. That seems simple. You pay money to upgrade the machine. Then you take an action to produce, which produces from your machines. Trains action. Trains help you spread additional influence in a region. So whatever it's connected to, you're essentially stopping yourself from being knocked out from your being influenced on them. Ships action. This is a great rule book. Really good. Oh, okay. So shipping, you're getting to upgrade your consolidation. Really like that. Anything that lets you upgrade and feel powerful feels pretty cool. Sure, the green track is just how you fulfill contracts, which are like little mini objectives. And then the local markets is where you time out how to win the game. Spreading your discs out in the region, satisfying the customers how they want to be satisfied. Neat. I'm not as enamored as the video made me, first of all. But I think the flow of this game is going to be really nice. There's a lot of just focus on resource conversion. So if you really like a good resource conversion game, that's what this claims to be. You're going to be having your money and upgrading your factories and generating more stuff and building that engine, all while converting resources into other resources and managing that as well. Definitely seems fun. How much is the shipping? Shipping estimates, are they in the... I don't like that they don't have shipping. Oh, it's up here. Okay, great. Shipping is $19 to the US, without tariffs. 22 to Canada. So for the standard version, I'm looking at about $112 for this game. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. And I can see why so many people have backed it. It serves that crunchy Euro style. I can see why it has raised a lot of money. I can see why it is high in the top 1,000 on BoardGameGeek. I think the conversion feeling will be fun. Is there enough to make it stand out from the other Euros that you already own and that you already enjoy? I'm not sure. I was very excited with the video, and then reading the rulebook, I went, yeah, okay, it kind of tempered my excitement a bit. And I think it's going to be a solid pick. Probably going to end up being the pick for me this week, let's be real. But I don't think it is enough of a pick for me to spend money on it currently. I won't be longing for it. I think if I played it, I would quite enjoy it, but I don't know if I'll long for it. Like I long for you liking and subscribing this video. That finishes Friday, May 23rd at 12 p.m. Let's keep it moving. Next up, we have AV Ghost. Sure, it had a very realistic funding goal. 156,000 Canadian. It just hit its funding goal. 100,000 euro. I like that. We have AV Ghost Paranormal Edition 2nd Edition, Paranormal Investigation 2nd Edition. It's a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players where you'll take control of a team of paranormal investigators. All of them are part of a specialized agency that investigates and solves paranormal events and poltergeists. In this game, you'll be hired by several people with issues. naturally. Oh, they got issues, man. They got friggin' issues. Who will request you to cleanse their homes from troublesome ghosts and spirits. The game is designed to be played in the dark. Love it. With a digital app that will reveal clues, add background music, and will startle you with sounds and voices from other different paranormal events. Sure. So it's Gimmick the Game, huh? Let's see what this is about. Your characters have flashlights? That's why it has to be in the dark? I mean, Gimmick the Game is okay. Change your flashlight filters. But where's the light coming from? They've acquired the license from the original publisher to enhance and relaunch AV Ghost. The ultimate horror board game can play in the dark, if you dare. Well, if I've learned anything from my lovely patrons and all of you, it's that in order to make a game good, you have to play it in the dark. And that makes a game good. It doesn't matter if it's not good, playing it in the light, and then playing it in the dark makes it just 1% better. That means it's a good game. And I'm appreciative that I learned this, you know? Apps required to play, sort of a digital app that gives you spooky sounds. I do like that the minis are all translucent. You won't be able to find them because you're playing in the dark, but what can you do about that? Live the story through 2 thrilling phases. Each game begins by opening up the case file, which includes a folder full of documents, clippings, and statements. This is where you discover the client's initial report and uncover clues that will help you plan your investigation. There are 15 cases total. Did they hear voices in the bedroom? I hope not. I tried to keep it down, my night terrors. Then maybe it's time to place a microphone there. No, please, don't do it. You'll hear my aggressive snoring. You have to decide what gadgets to use, place everything on the board, you set it all up, then you turn off the light, switch your flashlights, and get ready. Now the real exploration begins. Move your characters across the board to check the devices you've placed and consult the app. If you hear a recording or the investigator narrating what they're experiencing, then you've found a clue. If all you get is static, your setup wasn't right, and you can reconfigure and try again. Oh, turn the lights on. Okay, let's move this token 1 space to the left. Did we do it? Why don't you ever answer, app? Random paranormal events triggered by the app that will surprise and even frighten you like the scenes from a horror film. And that's it. Is there no rulebook, just gameplay? So you can really see it happening because, all right, let's see a little bit. Let's see. Are Alex and Meg getting spooked? They're in the dark. Oh, you got to use your flashlights, your filters. Oh, thanks, Alex, for jumping midway through that thing. You put your blue filter to get rid of blue ghosts. It's like Luigi's Mansion. Very silly. I don't know why they don't have the rule book here. That's disappointing, but it's because this entire game is probably based on a gimmick, and that's it. I hope whoever gets it likes it. For sure, you should go watch Alex's playthrough. If you're interested in this, because that's the experience. The tiny little lights going on. You go, okay, well, I'm still just a big boy pushing my toys around, but this time I'm in the dark, so at least nobody can see me. That finishes on the 23rd at 4 p.m. We're moving on to this one just quickly. We have Gentle Jack, the party game for bad friends. This is the drinking game of bad omens, spicy witchcraft, and testing the fragile bonds of friendship. So they sponsored an R&R show that I was on, and Ruel sort of went through the motions of what this game is. It's another take that style of card game, this one involving drinking. You know, you can get boons, you can get omens, things that will be put in front of you that make you do wacky and zany things. I mean, I think it looks okay. Don't get this $99 pledge, no way. But you can do print and play for $8, so that's okay. $20 for the Scallywag Plague, which the Scallywag Pledge and the Plague, if you want to get the Plague as well. Well, I'm not going to stop you. Just don't eat the fruit. That's what I've been doing. $20 is a good standard price. Often people go for $25, so that's what I can say. That's nice about this, is that $20 is way better. Of course, shipping is gonna be $10 to the US, 13 to the UK, 16 to China, rest of the world 22. So it doubles it to get to Canada, really. I don't really have that much interest in this, but if I did, I would go with the print and play version. I think if you maybe wanted a drinking game, you could check it out. The print and play version would be the way to go for this one. That finishes Friday, May 23rd at 5:59 p.m. Moving along to this one, Seas of Havoc, the reprint and the first Mates expansion. Expansion and reprint to the hit tactical naval skirmish game, Seas of Havoc. Again, we have another skirmish game, which I'm trying to just, I try to cover everything, right? I try to cover everything, try to give a general breakdown of what everything does, and I do read through all the rulebooks of the games, but stuff, when it says tactical, when it says skirmish, I just can't really get into it. But I'll watch the video and see. We'll give you some kind of Cole's notes. I remember this when it was first on. So at least there's that. Oh, right, I remember this. There's a little bit more going on. Right, here's the things that make me interested in it. That you're going to have a limited ship movement that you can do. You're going to have to get shift movement cards, which will determine how your ship moves in the tactical phase, and that you can be screwed over just by not having a good movement pattern. You go, I'm just getting riddled with cannonballs and I can't do anything to move out of the way. I think there's a potential for fun there. But I always think about the fun of both sides of things, of just like capitalizing on that and getting wrecked. Because it should be fun both ways, win or lose. Because I have to have fun, and then you have to have fun losing to me, right? The base game is going to be $7. Not $7, $70. That's a little bit more. And then they're adding in a new expansion, because you can't just do a reprint on Kickstarter, you got to throw in an expansion. Customizing your starting deck, new captains, great. Wild flags can be shuffled into the market and offer you more flexibility while deck building. Cool. Means a friend can't fully derail your plans by stealing a particular flag that you've built your deck around. Yeah, but what if I want to, though? That also probably would feel bad. That's probably why they are throwing this in there, because people got annoyed. They invest so much, and then the cost to remove that investment is less than the investment. That's the problem with Take That games. I think that is how you design a really good Take That game, is when the cost to take away from someone needs to be more than the cost that it took them to get. And then it feels fair, right? You are sort of have to invest more. If you have to invest less to take something away from someone, that's just the worst. That's the awful game. But if you have to invest more, then you really have to be choosy with when the take that happens. And mechanically, it will be driven in that sense, right? There's a little board game lab something for you. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. This is also the other aspect that I like about it, is because you have an island phase, you have this phase in between your skirmishing where you get to level yourself up and you get to invest resources and you have choices of the leveling up. This is also why it makes me interested in the game. Building up a better deck, gathering resources, and then going into the sea phase. There's no real rule book though, which is disappointing. But shipping to the US for the first mate is $10, or the quartermaster is $13, $14 or $18 to get to Canada. Again, like $120 for this game. Seems, again, like a lot of games, they unfortunately don't earn their way past my cheapness. And games do earn their way past my cheapness. If they really look phenomenal, then I will purchase them. But they have to earn my way past my cheapness. They have to earn my way past my shelf of shame, right? They have to feasibly have the potential of making it into my top games. And I think this would be fun. I think if somebody had it, I would absolutely play it. Again, falls into that category as something pretty solid. I like the island phase. I like that you get that chance to develop. And I think playing the cards with the ship patterns also seems fun. There's a lot in here that makes it not just another tactical skirmish game, but for me, not worth the price. But if you're interested, well, you have more money than me. So that finishes Saturday, May 24th at 3 a.m. I mean, I just clicked on this one to see it's Shazam. It's just Shazam, right? Well, sorry, it's Super Shazam. It's Super Shazam. You got to be the fastest to understand a song that someone's singing, enjoying the fun of music. Imagine a game night filled with laughter, spontaneous dancing, and singing, all wrapped in a fun, competitive spirit. I can't imagine that, had a game night filled with laughter, because laughter means we're wasting our breath. Laughter means we're not talking about the mechanics of the game. Laughter means that we're pulling our head back away from the table, and we got to be focused, we got to be locked in, because we have 4 more games to play, Zach. So stop your laughing. You just play a song and you raise your hand if you know the song. Don't really need the cards to do that, but the cards can add a little super secret twist. That's May 25th at 9 a.m. We're going to keep moving. We're not covering this. It doesn't look good. We're going to move on to Reforest Old Growth. Expand your forest and form new synergies with new plants, visitors, terrain, and old growth trees. They did Reforest before. Yeah, I've covered this. I've covered this for sure. I was trying to look it up and I couldn't find it. When was it? October 24th, finished November 16th, 2023. All right, let's look up past Chris, what he's saying. November 2023. Reforest. Yeah, I couldn't find it when I was searching before, but I remember enjoying it, I think. Oh, that was your week of wondrous creatures. Oh, this was the longest episode of Crowd. Was that really a year ago? Thanks, past Chris. If you wanted to hear what past Chris said, well, you don't ever want to listen to him. That was Chris of the past. He is worse now, so listen to it now. Oh, where are we? I don't want to be here. I want to be the real reforesting. Yeah, Reforest Old Growth. Form new synergies with new plants, visitors, terrain, and old growth trees. It's a very simple tableau builder is what this game is. And they're adding more cards to it. Medium complexity card game? I would say medium light. 27 Canadian, 1950 US. Or you can have the Old Growth expansion, which is 47 Canadian, 33 US. On your turn, you draw 2 cards, either from face up or face down. You then play a plant card, discard cards from your hand you can also use stored energy in the soil to build it up. You can grow over other plants to reduce this cost. There's a victory points available. All has scoring conditions as well as you're chaining and building a little tableau. I thought that, the $27 price was a good price. I don't think you should go for this 47 unless you've played the 27 one and really, really love it. And it's insane that people are going for, saving $6 on the retail when shipping is going to be more than that. Canada shipping is about the same for each thing. So if you can get it on a group buy, that would be great. $16 Canadian for one game, but get in on, a group of 10 of you who want to get it. Makes for a small game. It's just a really small tuck box, right? And so you'll have a larger box with more cards, more combinations. Again, I stay with my original opinion that it looks fine. Looks like a fine tableau builder. Do I care enough? Probably not. The finish is Sunday, May 25th at 11 p.m. Moving along to this one over on GameFound. Muster, raise the banners. Step into the enchanting realms of Muster, where players compete to raise the banners and seize control of 5 majestic castles. Strategic planning and bold tactics will determine who emerges victorious in this fast-paced 2-player duel. Sorry, Slippery Jim, is that you? All right, a little lane battler where there are wild cards that can switch from one side to the other. It's 20 pounds. 27 US, 23 Euro, oof, 37 Canadian. Made in Europe. Okay, so what's the interesting part here? First time or younger players under 8 ignore any rules labeled with the Wizard's Potion. On your turn, you take 1 action, you draw up to 5 cards. You have to have equal or greater strength than the card that you played over top of it. So you need the 1s to start. Oh, so it's like trying to be Lost Cities with 5 cards and no math. I think making Lost Cities with no math is good, and with a little bit more flexibility. Yeah, castle the card. Play 1 card from your hand face up to the top of the castle space. Yeah, it's just trying to be Lost Cities with some slight tweak. Sure, I like the no math part of it. Really like Lost Cities, to be fair, although I played a good game of it recently. Shipping 1 copy of the game to the UK is £5. Can go up to £13 for Canada. Oof, it's like $50 for Lost Cities. I'm happy for them that it's funded. Doesn't really interest me. That finishes on the 26th at 11 a.m. Okay, we're going to keep it going to Neo Morphosis soundtrack and 10 years of the Order of the Vampire Hunters celebration. You didn't have to do the soundtrack on GameFound, right? GameFound will just let you redo it, won't they? I'm confused. Is Neo Morphosis Infestation new? No, they're just giving you the soundtrack, so they're just reprinting it. And then they're reprinting Order of the Vampire Hunters as well. Sure, Neomorphosis is $90 because there's some minis in it. Order of the Vampires is $70. They're just slapping down some videos without really any care to tell you what the gameplay is, why you should get it. They're like, if you've heard of it before, come and get it. If you haven't, here's something. During each round for Neomorphosis Infestation, I watched the video, it seemed very underwhelming. You take 3 actions, then the aliens go on a rampage, and they destroy actions that you have accessible. I'm trying to get excited here. I feel like everything has just been mid, and I don't know if that's me. I don't know if I'm just tired and I'm done with this episode. I just don't know if the games suck. Or if I just hate games now. Maybe I just hate games now. Tower, dungeon, skirmish, crawler, defense, slapper. I don't know. I just don't care. I just really don't care. I just don't care. Anything that this is giving me, it's not giving me rulebooks, thank goodness. You can get a link to the original campaign. Maybe there are rulebooks over there, sure. I just don't care. It just doesn't seem any different from existing stuff that is more vetted. I'm really trying to care here, but when you're paying $30 to $35 for shipping to Canada, $25 to $30 for the US, $130 they're asking for one of these things, you gotta inspire me to care. That finishes on the 26th at 7 p.m. I don't know, here's a trick-taking game. Maybe that'll get me to care. I remember I cared about some stuff early in this episode. It's been so long that I forget. It's Nippon. I want to get the Nippon excitement excitement it happening in me. I think I remember this. This has already been around. Chudari, was this just on GameFound first? Reprints of games that were just fine to begin with. I mean, I guess you gotta sell it somehow. Panda Spin. That was last September. No, it was on Kickstarter. Have the expansion first, okay, because there's an expansion. Mandate of Heaven pledge. $9 US. Sweet. You're going to get 12 oversized animal mandate cards in a rulebook. Right, they just used the same video from the last one. The Angry Panda Pledge, so you get the base game for 18, and then there's a combo. All-in pledge for 24, sure. Right, I remember this being potentially interesting. If you win the trick, you get to throw away your card. If you lose the trick, you get to rotate your card to make it a better card. And so choosing when to lose your trick and win the tricks, it just feels like it might balance out, right? I just think it's going to balance out. I would probably have to play it. It's nice you can play it on Board Game Arena. I think there's potential here. This excites me so much more than the last few campaigns, so at least there's that. The expansion just adds in additional powers, so you can add in more cards, probably shaking up the game in an important way rather than just, oh, okay, I flip my card and I have a queen. And then you play a card and I play my queen, so I get rid of it. And then you flip your card and now you have a queen, so you play your queen and then I play my card and get rid of it, right? There's that potential for that back and forth, so maybe it'll address that. Shipping is 70 Hong Kong dollars, so $9 US to the US, 16 to Canada. So even if I wanted it, it's like $40 for this little trick-taking game. Doesn't blow me away, but I think there's some value there. If you're interested, the finish is Tuesday, May 27th at 9:59 a.m. Again, I'm not really going to cover this because it's a tabletop war game, and I don't really play those. But if you're interested in another one, you can check out 1490 Doom. It's set in a grimdark world between 1490 and 1494, where players lead Doom companies, warriors united by desperation and survival instincts, through a world plagued by the creeping death, navigate treacherous landscapes, scavenge for resources, and engage in brutal combat as you fight to outlast the horrors that threaten to consume us all. So you can check that out if you're interested. That's over on GameFound. Also, if you're interested, Whale Riders has been out and about in retail for a while, but you can get free shipping to help defray tariff costs. Just makes me friggin' mad. These are not the sort of deals that I like, right? These are not the sort of deals of companies who have a warehouse, who have a stock, who are saying, listen, we need to sell our stock because we need a cash infusion because of the stupid tariffs. I like a good deal more than anybody. I like a good warehouse sale. I like turnover, but I don't like seeing all these companies have to do it out of necessity. Who does it ship to? Canada and the US. It's only for Canada and the US. Right. And so the only reason that they're selling this is because they're like, hey, we made this and we made a bunch of retail copies. And now we can't sell those retail copies because it is too expensive. So we're going to sell it to you wholesale and hope to make our money back. That just disappoints me. That's just disappointing. But if you're interested, you can check it out. That finishes also on Tuesday the 27th. And finally, we have this. I don't know. Oh, as it drains the life out of my body. We have Aqueducts, a board game where you build a 3D Roman city. The tactile 3D game of deck building ducks in the Roman Empire. Maybe it'll be good. Come on, surprise me. Build in 3D. Okay, you're building a house of cards. At least there's a tactile nature to it. Combining deck building with a physical 3D city building to give players a novel tactile tabletop experience. 69 Australian dollars. Okay. I wasn't expecting it to be this much. Let's go to the how to play then. Played over 4 eras, each comprising 5 build actions. You choose 2 buildings from your hand to combine into a district. You place it into your city, so you stand it face up. 2 donations. You get the ducats and you trade it in for the favor, which is points. So you're trying to generate ducats from your buildings to get points. Okay. But look out, foes with military might can place their donation above their neighbors. So you can rush without military might or hope that you can win the tiebreaker if you invest in military might. Also, your districts might get destroyed as well, that are just constantly destroying your city if you haven't protected them. Yeah, okay. I'm going to need the rules for this one. So you're always going to get to draft buildings, and then you have to play these buildings. So it's all about the draft, okay. That makes sense. He said one of his favorite games at the moment was Kavango, so if it's heavy on the draft, maybe that's an indicator of this. There is a level at which it can be played. That's interesting. So for the elevation part of your tableau, I mean, you don't really have to make it part of your tableau in that way, right? Like with elevation, you could just lay it out flat, but having the building blocks is a fun little gimmick. Cool. But the real meat of it all are the resources that your cards produce and then the effects that they produce. So we go build, publican visits, collect donations, build some more of your tower, donations, defend, don't destroy, Oh, build. I thought there was only 5 builds, but apparently there's 6. Or that's just a different, that's a destroy. That's a confusing icon. Then draft again. Only buildings which are at the edge of your city are also active. Yeah, this isn't bad. I think it's probably too expensive, but I like the potential of these cards. Engine building, there's some restrictions in placement. You get the nice gimmick of building things up. I don't know if I like that everyone gets, like, all of your stuff just gets destroyed. At the end of Era 1, there's an existing district that's protected. 1 district is protected. So you've played like 5 cards, and then you have to choose which ones to get destroyed. But I guess that means there's an emphasis on single-use abilities, right? One-time abilities, things that then grow and expand. I could get on board. Downfall, which is almost the same symbol as a building. They should change that. Just make it an explosion or something. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I don't think I'm intrigued enough for it to be 62 plus shipping. Shipping to Australia is 18. United States and Canada is 22. Again, this would be in that $90 range for an engine building, tableau building game. It has a cool gimmick, but it's, you know, it is just a gimmick. Thought maybe there'd be a little dexterity aspect to it, but it's really just, hey, your cards are going to stand up against each other, and some aren't going to be active. Some are just used as fodder to stand up, when you could just easily replicate that with a card cost, a throwaway card cost. I don't know. Yeah, I do like how it's evolved. I do like the uniqueness of it, and it's not a horrible way to end episode. So that's it. That is it for the week. Now every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting. The pick for you being the thing that I think if you got, you would regret the least. Before we get into that, I'm going to do a grunt down to remind myself of what's come before. And also, oh, okay, I have the pick for you. I remember now. And also, I do want to shout out, if you're in the crowdfunding space, or you're thinking about crowdfunding a board game, and you're like, where do I go that's not Launch Boom? Well, you can check out the Crowdfunding Nerds as well. Mainly because I wanted to highlight it that their latest episode, or at least last week's episode, was me. They were talking to me. So if you want to go check them out, you can. I talk a little bit about the World Series of Board Gaming, and also just Room and Board in general. And then we were talking a bit offline. They have a crowdfunding academy, which they said, hey, do you want an affiliate link? I said, sure, I don't care. So there'll be an affiliate link dropped down below as well if you are interested in getting your board games off the ground. I really liked talking to these guys. I thought they both seemed very knowledgeable. It's one of the guys behind Deliverance. And I like my affiliate page because it said, what's a quote? And I said, well, you're certainly better than Launch Boom. They're like adamantly against a $1 pre-pledge and are very focused on creating a succinct transmission of your game to the audience. And I think that is a really cool aspect as well. So you can check out our podcast episode where I talked about World Series of Board Gaming and Room and Board and myself, and a little bit. We just chatted for a bit. And if you're interested in pursuing that, I like them. I like them as people. They seem knowledgeable. And if you do end up signing up for their thing, then you can use my link and I'll get some money. And if not, that's also fine. Like, go forth, be merry, use anything but Launch Boom. So let's do the crowdfunding grunt down to remind ourselves of what came before. Oh, and I realized that I was on their page, but you were here. Yeah, you were in the wrong camera frame. So this is the episode that I was referencing. You can check that out as well at crowdfundingnerds.com/episodes. That's me talking about kind of any of those considerations. And they make me sound exciting, so I should probably listen to it. I remember I just talked and they probably edited out all my bad parts. That's what I think. Anyway, let's do our grunt down. Yeah, meh, no, yeah,
Pew pew pew.
meh, nah, meh, no. No. War. Yeah, meh. Yeah, yeah, meh, ugh, war, sad. And yeah, it's not horrible, but fairly horrible. However, I think it's pretty clear what the pick for me is going to be. I said it while we were going through, and it stands. Nippon is definitely the pick for me. I think there are a lot of fun mechanisms in there, not as fun as I was excited for with the video, but I think it still is going to be a really solid game. That is one that I would want to try. And then the pick for you, pick for you is going to be Cassus Belli. I think the flow is going to be good. Martin Wallace is a great designer. It's not a bad pick. I think it'll end up being pretty solid, even if the combat doesn't look that exciting to me. I don't really like a tug-of-war mechanism in my combat, but it's not quite tug-of-war. It's just who has the most force represented in a tug-of-war fashion. rather than everybody adding up their force and saying, I have 100, I have 99, you've just pulled it back and forth as a more visual representation to show people when they're throwing down cards to help you, they can see where the battle is currently at. That is it for the week. That's episode 186. We made it. You made it. I made it. I've almost made it. I have to edit this. But thank you so much for watching. Truly, truly, madly, deeply. I am really appreciative of all the time you spend hanging out with me, and I like spending that time with you. I do. Even though sometimes it can be a real slog, and they can just like sap out all of your enjoyment for board gaming forever, then I remember that we have a bunch of great games on our shelf, and I remember that you are one of the good ones, and I really like hanging out with you, and I like you being here, and I like seeing you in the comments. So thanks. My name is Chris George, and I do not have a catchphrase. This is so embarrassing that I've got to end this video right now. Go away.